What we are looking for right now is to put together your portfolio. And your portfolio should look something like this, where you have from not being able to do it to doing it. One of the things though, especially like for your cutting your name, you have an assignment that's called first four letters that you all did without knowing anything. So we need to go through and do that. Which you go into your teams and you are going to, let's go back to this one. We're going to go into your assignments. We're going to click on your assignments. And we're going to click on, actually, I'm going to go into grades and do it that way. So I'm going to click on grades and we're going to go into Michaela because Michaela's got it going on. So if we look at her and her first four letters, if we click on this, if we click on the ... that's next to it, we're going to click download, and then that's going to go into either the download folder or it's going to ask you if you want to save it on your phone. So that can happen both ways. And I'll do it on my phone in a minute. So I have that in there. Close. I need to have a Gmail account that is hopefully my first name dot last name and then maybe year that I graduated. If we look at Michaela's information, Oreo Kayla is the owner on that. So that might be a problem, but she doesn't have a problem getting graded because her name is right there. So she should have inside of her cutting out her name, all of those. And it's a progression through here, and we're going to talk about what we've learned and what we've got going on. Now, if we don't know what we learned and we want to figure this out, if you go into Teams right now, inside of your Teams is the entire Fine Arts Crafts curriculum. So inside of there, if I click on this PDF that's right here, it's going to take me to those pages. So what I can do is I can look in crafts and I can go to that assignment, which here's the cut paper letters. These were the goals of that exercise. So one of those things you think like you should be able to say you have learned from that. So if we look at here, these are the things that we were working on. Those are the things that we talked about. This is the vocabulary we used. You can make your explanations very, very detailed. Now, let's say you don't have any of this information. What you're going to do, let's say you only have a picture of maybe your name. If you have that, you're going to go into your Google folder. You are going to write a whole paragraph on what you learned about this and put the picture of your name. To write a paragraph, let's go through that. So if I go into my albums, I have to get one I own in order to be able to edit it. So I'm going to go into my albums and I'm going to pick one. Let's see. Wallpaper projects, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to click on the ... And again, this can happen from your phone. And I'm going to go into edit album. This little TT thing going on here will allow me to add a text box. Once I add a text box, I can go in here and I can type whatever I want to describe what I learned or what growth I made, or growth. We'll just call it growth. So there is that. Edit album, I can click on this, all saved. So if you, the next portion of this is when you want to know what you learned. Let's say you're like looking at this and you have no idea what's going on, right? And you're like, I didn't learn anything from that. Inside of your teams right now, inside of the general channel, is the Crafts High School Art Curriculum PDF. If you click on that, this is literally all of the curriculum for this, and it will tell you exactly what you've learned. So if we look at this, this is quarter one with letters. You learn spatial thinking, introduction to visualization, mental manipulation of shapes, practice cutting shapes, evaluation of shapes. Now, obviously this needs to be in your own words. You don't want to send me exactly what I've written. Down here it gets a little bit less technical and a little less teacherly, where it talks about exercise spatial thinking skills. Do you know what I mean when I'm talking about that?
Not really.
Okay, it is a little bit more of like manipulating images in your head, rotating it, folding it, and simplifying forms to shape. So when we talked about this in the beginning, and I would tell you to cut out an A, you remember what you guys gave me, right? Because your first 4 letters proved it. But then we sat there and we talked about, okay, is an A symmetrical? Can you fold it in half? And you guys kind of really hard went, no, yeah, no, you can. And then we did that whole, is it symmetrical kind of a thing. So you guys were sitting there doing mental exercises in your head, visualizing and picturing objects, folding them in half, flipping them over, doing all kinds of other things. That's the exercise that we were doing with that, and that's the visual thinking strategies. Also, reworking your mistakes instead of discarding. Is that something that you figured out that you could probably do with that too? Like, if that was a little too thick, maybe I should just cut it a little bit thinner. So you are learning an evaluation process and everything else. So if you think about the stuff that you learned with this, when you say, what'd you learn? I learned how to cut out an A. That's not exactly what you learned. You learned a lot more than that, okay? So, and the reading diagram part, because we had this diagram that was there, you guys did a lot with it that you had no idea you did. So each one of these lessons are in here. So if you can't quite remember what you learned, let's go back through here and review what we were supposed to learn. And maybe you can say, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I learned. So when we're going in and we're writing those paragraphs, maybe look at this to see what it is.
And what about when we was drawing something from life? What would you learn from that?
That's different. Okay, hold on. Last thing we need to talk about is you need to share your portfolio with me. All right? And Kenneth Braxton, it should be Kenneth Braxton portfolio, but final, I guess we'll deal with. So if we are looking at, I need to look at my folders now, right? So if I wanted to share my folder, I can pick anything. Let's pick this one. So if I go into this, inside of here, no. Inside, and it will be in the ... on your phone. On here, it is going to be this share button, which is this triangle with there. So I'm going to hit share. I'm going to hit copy link. On your phone, you have to do a couple of other things, but you have to copy the link. On your phone, you go through and you have to click share video or share album. You go and you click on the share button. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta find it. All right, so now if I'm going in on my phone, I'm gonna click on, first I gotta find my files. So there's my thing. If I go into library, it'll show me my albums. If I click on here, and then if I click on this dot, or the ... or the little, whoopsie, backspace, the little share icon will give me this, and I can click copy link. I can also go into here, click on share. If I click on share, I'm going to have to share to, and I can click copy link here. So if those things do not work, that's where it's at. Then I'm going to go into Teams. And I have to go in differently. You're going to click on assignments. You're going to click on your final. I don't know if I can do it this way. So if I go into final, and can I do it like this? Yeah, I can. Okay, so I'm going to take action in student view. Oh no, I can't do it with that because he's already turned that in. Hold, please. So if I go back to Teams, I need to find someone who hasn't turned it in. All right, take action in student view. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click attach on my work. I'm going to click link, and I'm going to click on here. And if I hold my finger on there, I get the paste, and my paste is in there. Okay, and then I'm going to click done, and then I'm going to click turn in. Actually, I can do it, can't I? And then I'm going to click turn in up in the corner. If you do not click turn in, it does not turn it in. Ah, crap, I don't know where I did that from now. So what I need you to do is I need you to make sure that you go in and I need you to make sure that you share your folder or your album inside of the assignment because I don't grade. I don't grade assignments. I grade in assignments. I do not grade private chats. Okay, if you have any questions, you can probably send me a private chat. I'm real sorry I was out today, but I warned you. So let's get this together and get it done. Thanks.